Good morning and welcome to the Daily Cyber Briefing for Thursday, the 14th of August. I'm Stephen Ridgway. There is a vulnerability in WordPress that is exposing 70,000 plus sites to remote code execution attacks. The vulnerability is tracked as CVE 2025-7384, database for contact form 7, WP platform. WP forms, eliminator forms. So yes, it receives a CVSS score of 9.8 out of 10. So it is pretty serious. It affects all versions prior to 1.4.4. So if you're not on version 1.4.4, then you are vulnerable to this and it is being currently exploited. Recommendation is obviously to patch update as soon as is feasible. Bear in mind, as I've said many times before, but not for a little while, in the WordPress world, yes, you can set all your plugins and your WordPress versions and so on to auto update. In practice, they don't always actually do it. So do go in every now and then and check on your console to make sure that you don't have pending updates that haven't been applied, because I don't know why, but just from a practical perspective, it's better to check than to make the assumption and then get caught out. Some more disappointing stuff coming from Microsoft. Yet again, they are asking users to ignore errors. This time, they're asking users to ignore certificate enrollment errors. So this week, Microsoft asked customers to disregard incorrect certificate services client cert enroll errors that appear after installing the July 2025 preview update and subsequent Windows 11 24H2 updates. It isn't the first time that Microsoft has said, "Oh, those errors are extraneous, don't worry about them, just ignore them." The biggest problem with training people to ignore errors is that they'll then ignore errors that actually matter. So this is a thoroughly dumb idea. If you've released code that doesn't work the way you expect it to work, fix the code. Don't tell the users to ignore the problems. So yeah, from an ITIL perspective, not just from a security perspective, ignoring errors is a really dumb thing to do. The errors are there to tell you that something needs to be done. If the vendor's got the errors wrong, lean on the vendor to get the errors right, because this it isn't okay just to say, just ignore it. Ignore this one. Yeah. Well, how are you supposed to know when to ignore the error and when not to ignore the error? It's a very, very dumb idea. So I'm afraid you get an E- from me on that one, Microsoft. Right, and then finally from me today, in the arena of government overreach, authoritative, oppressive regimes, and all the rest of this stuff. UK expands police facial recognition rollout with 10 new vans heading to a town near you. So if you live in, now let me get this right. Yeah. Greater Manchester, West Yorkshire, Bedfordshire, Surrey and Sussex, Thames Valley and Hampshire. Oh, be warned, the police are rolling out vans that are indiscriminately collecting information about who they see. They do say they're only actually going to act on stuff that faces that crop up on one of its databases in connection to some or other crime, which I'm sure is the intent. the difficulty is partly that what the UK police define as a crime can be literally down to something that you've thought. It doesn't actually have to be, in fact, actually, they mostly seem to be policing ridiculous stuff that people post on Twitter, whilst a police commissioner actually during the week was announced in a press conference that it's the public that are responsible for stopping shoplifters, not the police. And I think it was was it the Home Office that put out information to shop owners saying, well, just don't put your expensive stuff near the door. Right. So we're going to spend money on facial recognition of perfectly innocent people whilst failing to deal with shoplifting, for example, and equally arresting, threatening, and generally attempting to prosecute people for thought crimes in the UK. This is a truly dumb idea. Right. The other thing to bear in mind with this one, by the way, is that the police have now been given access to the photograph database from the passports office. So whereas previously the police had their own database, of which I think there were 20 odd thousand or something, not a huge number of actual criminals that they had photographs of that could be used for facial recognition matching. They've now been given access to it's around 20 million images that they previously had. They've now got access to 150 million images. So you will be flagging up if, like, many of us in TSC, you're in and around the north of England, or as some of us are in Surrey and Sussex as well. Great. Obviously, there is pushback from privacy groups. Big Brother Watch is very much in opposition to this, but I think it's just the relentless march of an authoritarian regime that doesn't understand that the government doesn't know best, and that even if the government did know best, the police in the UK are now off on an unregulated bloody crusade of their own, doing whatever it is that they think that they should do. And we've lost that connection between democratic accountability and policing in the UK. And there we have it. That's my rant for the day. Hope you have a good Thursday. I will speak to you all again tomorrow.